I have got some ghost stories for you.
I come home from the gym and the chairs are all stacked upside down, like a very intricate stack.
There was a werewolf on our porch swing holding one of our kittens. The pen was all busted open and there is blood everywhere.
There's like somebody standing in the middle of the bed with their finger pushing straight up on the canopy, like a tent pole. But there's nothing there. And I laid in bed like a little kid. I pulled the covers up over my eyes.
This little boy told paranormal investigators, apparently my grandfather came back from the dead to harass a toddler.
So that is my ghost story.
Hi, and welcome to Haunted AF, the podcast of real ghost stories told by real people. We are your hosts. I'm Julie Fisk.
And I'm Rebecca Black.
And I hope everybody enjoys the new intro, the Haunted AF theme song.
Oh my God, guys.
I know. It's like with Audrey at the beginning. That's going to crack me up.
I know.
All right. Coming up, we've got a story from the Bell Witch property.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's scary enough, but apparently there is a haunted cave on the property. We also have a new segment to launch and a brand new Dead Pet of the Week theme song, which you haven't even heard this one yet.
I love it.
Cannot wait for you to hear it.
But first, we need to thank our new patrons. We've got Anna, Maria, Helen White, Dallas Bryan, Chelsea Stanley, and David Doss. Also, some big love to Donna. I'm going to try to say your name right. Sulikoski?
That sounds right to me.
Donna Sulikoski. She actually just became an annual patron, so thank you very much for that. And we actually have posted 7 different mini-sodes since the last season.
Yeah.
And we're going to be posting weekly Patreon pre-games.
Mm-hmm.
So please check that out before each and every episode of Haunted AF, right?
Yeah. If you finish this episode and you've binged everything and you're like, I need more, there's tons of content in there. Yeah. And we're also going to set up some Q&As this season just for our patrons. So, and you can also become an annual patron, which saves money. Plus it's super cheap and it's an easy way to support the podcast. We also have on there an interview we just did with Steve Shippey.
Oh, I love him.
I know. And this is wild. So he did a documentary for Discovery Plus called Scream, the True Story.
Right.
Because apparently the Scream movies are based on actual murders.
Which I had no idea until like maybe a week ago.
Yeah, same. And in fact, part of me wants to call bullshit on it because it's so...
it's so loosely based.
Yeah, there's not a whole... And even Steve is like, yeah, it's a very loose kind of connection there. But
because dude did not, in fact, wear a costume around town to murder people.
Which that's actually the thing I was most excited about.
Right.
You know, was the idea of him actually wearing the ghost
broad
mask.
Daylight and killing people, but that didn't actually happen. But anyhow, so I was interviewing Steve Shippey talking about this, and it was really wild. At least I thought it was wild. Okay, dude, I'm right there with you.
Okay, because he's talking in the interview about how they were at this haunted house and the spirits were setting off all the alarms on their equipment. Mm-hmm. Well, in the middle of this, my house alarm starts going off.
Oh my God!
And this happened twice, so you have to listen really carefully to hear the house alarm.
Beyond what she was sensing, my gear was basically working with her in tandem. When she would say something was there, the gear would light up. Cindy was wondering, who am I making contact with? She was sure it was Danny, but then she wasn't sure. But whatever was displaying this power had the ability to set off my devices all throughout the house at the same time.
That's 2 different times that it happened. So
I definitely heard it.
I had to stop the interview and like go and check my alarm. But the wild thing is when I was editing that soundbite, the alarm went off again.
What?
Yes.
That's nuts.
True story. I know. I was like, Steve Shippey, get your weird spirits out of here.
I do have a question about the alarms. Was it like a door open?
It was a low battery. So it was a legit reason for the alarm to go off, but it was weird that it was happening right then.
Yeah. I mean, then it happened again and when you were recording.
Right. Exactly.
How far apart was that?
Oh, that was like 24 hours.
No, stop.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was something.
Yeah.
It was weird.
There was definitely something happening. We also got this something interesting from David Jasso while we were on break.
Hello, I'm comedian David Jasso, and I took this picture at the Stanley Hotel in Essex Park, Colorado. So I've been fascinated with the paranormal for as long as I can remember. So we tried to do as many ghost tours as possible, and I've always wanted to do the Stanley Hotel. I've seen it on the show Ghost Adventures, and I went to Colorado earlier this month in January. We did a ghost tour. It was pretty cool, but we didn't really experience anything. But after the tour, they allowed us, to kind of hang out. So me and my wife, we kind of left the interior of the hotel and we just walked outside. I stopped to admire the scenery. The hotel is a beautiful place. And my wife started walking towards the car. She was maybe about 20, 30 yards in front of me. And she turns around and she goes, "Babe, stop scaring me." And I go, "What'd you say?" And she says, "I thought you were scaring me." And she came running towards me and I go, "What's wrong? What happened?" And she says, "I heard you or heard something whisper in my ear. I heard it loud and clear and I thought you were scaring me. I wasn't even near you." So I started taking pictures, and it wasn't until I got to the hotel where I saw the picture, this one right here. I'm like, how many other people have caught anything like this at the Stanley Hotel? So I went on Instagram and I just searched the hashtag Stanley Hotel, and I came across one that was posted by Haunted AF maybe about a year and a half, 2 years ago. And it kind of looks similar to what I took. And here's a picture of a side-by-side comparison. Picture on the left was posted by Haunted AF. Picture on the right was taken by me. It does look like the same little boy, but that was my story. I'm a comedian out of California. I am starting a paranormal page as well, Chicano Paranormal. I'm gonna start doing investigations, with a friend of mine, and we're gonna start a series mid-February 2022. So hope I could work with you guys soon. I got more stories to tell. I appreciate you guys having me. David Josso. You can follow me at David Josso Comedy, or my paranormal page, Chicano Paranormal. Appreciate you guys.
Thanks, David. Yes, absolutely. Keep in touch. Let us know what you're up to. And just a quick reminder, if you have a project or a podcast or something you want to promote and you're sending us material, please include it. Include your links and everything, because we definitely want to share that information. Because
they look the same.
They look the same. It's pretty wild.
It's freaky.
And I wish I could remember who sent us that photo.
And how long, I wonder, apart are the actual images that were taken.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, because we posted that early.
A while ago. Yeah.
I feel like that was maybe 2020 when we posted that photo. And I do think somebody sent it to us. So it would be, it's wild when you put them right next to each other. Are you ready, Rebecca?
Just to double check. Yeah. Yes! That's fantastic.
You want to hear it again?
Yeah. One more time, please. Dude, it's like so professionally recorded.
That is courtesy of Curtis.
Yeah,
thanks, Curtis. Thank you, Curtis.
Definitely
Curtis
didn't do that one in the bathroom.
No doubt. That was really, and we've gotten a handful of really fun Dead Pet of the Week theme songs. So please keep sending those. hauntedafpodcast@gmail.com.
Hello, Julie and Rebecca. My name is John. In the fall of 2020, my wife and I bought a house right outside of Asheville, North Carolina, and we have noticed that we have a little ghost. This ghost is a small gray cat that we occasionally see in the house. We do not own a cat. There are no cats here, and our dogs don't seem to notice this cat at all. We see the cat in the bathroom sometimes, and I have even seen it while I was cooking in front of the stove. I felt something brush against my feet and walk around like cats do. My wife actually saw the cat at her work one day.
What?
It just visited her and was just sitting in the middle of the store she was working at. Guess it previously lived here. We have started calling it Ghost.
Oh, little ghost kitty.
I love that.
Let me ask you this. If you ever felt like a cat, if you felt like you had a cat next to your leg or something, a ghost cat,
do
you put your hand down and pretend like you're petting it?
I would.
Wouldn't you? I did that the other day.
Because wait, hold on. Did you actually feel a ghost cat on you?
I don't know. You know how you always have like weird little muscle spasms or sensations. I had like a little like dink on the back of my leg. And I was like, and it felt like a little cat nose.
Aww.
But it could be anything. But then I was like, oh, what if that's one of my little ghost kitties or something? So I put my hands down like just in case.
I have no problem with that whatsoever.
Okay, so this story comes from Sarah. She sent it to us back in August. So look, sometimes I put these longer stories on the back burner.
I almost feel like we're doing season 1, the reboot.
I know we kind of are. I literally went back and started reading emails from the very beginning that I had skipped for whatever reason. And then I'm writing to these people and they're like, what the hell?
Like, what are you talking about, lady?
Seriously. So anyhow, this is from Sarah. The title of the email is Ghost of the Parkway Murderer. So Sarah says, Hi, ladies. I love your podcast so much. First, a bit of background. In Williamsburg, Virginia, the historic Colonial Parkway was the site of a slew of murders between 1986 and 1989. At least 8 people were murdered, mostly 2 at a time, and the killer has never been caught. The running theory was that a local farmer used a retrofitted police cruiser to pull people over on the Parkway, then murdered them. There was never enough evidence to arrest him, so the case went cold. Here's my story.
Ooh.
I lived in Williamsburg for about 9 years. The neighborhood I lived in butted directly up to the Parkway. As you can imagine, living in colonial Williamsburg is boring as if you aren't a history buff.
Yeah, I can understand that.
So as a high schooler, we learned to make our own fun. One night, me and 2 friends were wandering the woods between my house and the Parkway. As is strangely common in Williamsburg, we found a pair of headstones dating back to colonial times. They were on a small hill that overlooked an abandoned portion of the Parkway. Bored and looking to do something spooky, we did the totally normal thing and tried to commune with the dead. We got some candles and returned to begin our totally improvised seance.
Yes.
About 10 minutes in, my friend said, "Do you hear that?"
Nuh-uh.
We froze and heard the distant sound of crunching rocks, like tires on gravel. We jumped behind the gravestones and looked down at the abandoned section of Parkway. Down the hill, there was a car with a spotlight driving slowly. It looked like an old police cruiser with a window-mounted spotlight and a sheriff's emblem on the door. Even had the small bubble police light on top. There was a shape behind the wheel, but in the darkness, all I could see was a person with their hand on the spotlight. I tried to whisper to my friends, but suddenly everything stopped. The light clicked off, the sound of the tires stopped, and everything was silent again. We stood up, looked down into the Parkway, and there was nothing there. No car, no person, no bright light. We looked at each other, wondered which one had just shit their pants, and then we bolted back to my house to watch One Tree Hill. I don't know what we saw, but it scared us badly. Was this the killer still cruising in his fake police car? Or is he dead? Either way, I said, "F that noise," and I'm never going back, and sure as shit, we haven't. And again, that is from Sarah.
Wow, that's a great story.
Yeah. And
also, One Tree Hill might be the scariest part of it.
Fantastic reference. So we'll post a link to this story about the Colonial Parkway murders. I know. And so go to hauntedaf.com, and this is episode 1, season 7 to find a link to those. But
Or is it plausible that he could still be alive?
Yes, absolutely.
So he could be like 80-something years old and like
still
still stalking around trying to kill some people.
But he wasn't there.
That's so good.
Oh, okay. So we have a new segment that we're going to launch. And we've tried to tape the theme song a couple of times. And so we're going to try to tape it again. Okay. So it's our weird shit segment. So, okay, here we go.
Yeah. Weird shit. Weird shit. It's not a ghost, not a glitch. It's weird shit. Turkey sound. That's all you're ever going to get from me. My guitars sound like turkey. Yeah.
Okay.
I was also doing the Wayne's World thing again.
Is that what you were doing?
Yeah. Can we make the Zoom ripple? Just kidding.
My editing skills are not
that good.
Not that good. No.
Maybe one day. Maybe our intern can do it.
Maybe. Oh, yes. We should send out props.
I know. We have an intern.
Haunted AF intern, Nick, who's actually interning. He's like doing stuff for us.
So do you have a picture of him? Because I don't know what he looks like. Where's our coffee, Nick? So this next story. Hey, Rebecca and Julie. My name is David, and I love all things haunted.
Same.
Thank you, David. I have a story, and I hope that you can help me figure out where it falls in the realm of weird. Because although it's not haunted, it's definitely unexplained. I've always had an unnatural ability to remember things, even at an early age. I was born in a small town in Arkansas, and when I was little, I had a very vivid dream. In it, I was walking down a road and looking at my feet when I heard a voice call out to me. I looked up and saw a man standing next to a baseball field, and he was waving at me. As I waved back in the dream, it ended. I thought about that dream for quite some time because it was so vivid. It wasn't really creepy, though, until much later. My family moved to Georgia, and I went on with my life. One day, when I was 14, I had finished playing a baseball game and was walking to the car when I got an overwhelming feeling that I'd been there before. I was looking at my feet and I heard someone call out to me. I looked up and I saw my coach waving to me from the baseball field. It was the same dream I had had years ago. And the weird thing is, when I had the dream, I had never been in Georgia and I had no clue who the man was waving to me. I'm hoping you guys can find an explanation, or maybe someone who's had a similar occurrence. David.
We don't usually share dream stories. But I really like this one.
Yeah.
And it felt like a really good intro to our weird shit segment because dreams are weird. And even though I think we all have those things where it's like you have the dream, but it feels like more than a dream. One of the weirdest dream things that I have on a regular basis is waking up and having to remember who I am. Do you ever have that?
Ooh, no.
I have that moment.
I don't like that at all.
It's weird. I hope that's, I know. I hope that's not a sign of something. Does anybody else have that? Because I wake up and I'll be in the middle of some crazy ass dream, you know, where I'm, I don't know, blowing up a car or whatever. And then I have to like, oh no, I'm Julie. I'm a mother of 2 and I'm married and I'm in my comfy bed.
Whoa, that's funky.
So you don't have that?
No, but I have dreams where I die and they say that's bad.
How is that bad?
You're not supposed to die in your dreams. You're always supposed to wake up. Like I got shot in the head in one dream and I saw myself like falling to the floor.
Right.
And you're just not supposed to see yourself die.
Right.
Did I just spit on you?
No.
Okay, you're wiping your face and I'm like, I'm a spitter. So
No.
I spit on you. Sorry, random side note there. I was like, oh God, I spit directly into your eye.
No, because I'm looking at you going, do I have an eye booger? Is she looking at my eye boogers right now?
Oh, well, aren't we a delight?
No, I dreamt once that I was being stabbed.
But did you die or did you wake up in the middle of being stabbed?
I did die. And I have dreamt that I was being bitten by a snake and I'm like blacking out from the venom. And I'm thinking, oh my God, am I dying or am I just passing out?
Yeah.
So yeah, send us your weird dream shit.
I have a dream app that can interpret, by the way.
Do you?
Yeah, you do.
Oh my God.
I don't know how accurate it is, but I love to put my dreams in there and
okay. I want to know what does it mean? Why do I have to remember who I am when I wake up? And is that evidence of the simulation? Like maybe I'm coming from
your
some
creator
other.
has to retype your info.
Yeah. I'm coming from a different game and my info has to. Okay. Anyhow, next story. This comes from Rick. Ladies, I love your podcast. I recently started listening and have lots to binge, but wanted to share my story with you. Back in the 90s, I traveled monthly for business and typically stayed at moderately priced motels like La Quinta or Best Western. On this particular night, I had just turned off the TV and was drifting off to sleep when the bedspread started to slide off the foot of the bed. I grabbed the bedspread and pulled it up to my neck, but when I did, there was a slight resistance, like something was holding it. This happened twice. I put my arms back into the covers and again, the bedspread started to slide off the foot of the bed for a third time. This time I grabbed it and I pulled up on it only to feel an even stronger resistance. Something was pulling the bedspread off the bed. I could almost sense a presence there, but the room was completely dark and I could see nothing. Here's the weird part. I was half asleep and completely sober, but I was not afraid. In fact, I was annoyed. I actually yelled, knock it off, damn it. And the resistance immediately stopped. I was able to pull the bedspread up and was not disturbed for the rest of the night. I know this story is simple, but it has stuck with me for over 2 decades now, and the memory comes back each time I check into a hotel. And again, that's from Rick.
I'm like, that's like reason number 800 not to put the bedspread on you when you're at a hotel.
Oh God,
you know they always say like all the DNA is on there.
Oh, and all the black light and splatters. Yes. Oh yeah, bring your own blanket.
This one comes from Denise, and she says, I've seen ghosts before, but the time I was most scared occurred in the famous Bell Witch Cave in Adams, Tennessee. Yes.
Yeah, and if you are not familiar with the Bell Witch, we will post some links to stories. There's like Supernatural did a really great podcast about it. So it's Astonishing Legends.
Didn't we have a Bell Witch story in the first season of Haunted AF?
Possibly. Okay. I'd be surprised if we didn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Denise says, I took my 2 nieces up to visit the property and the cave about 20 years ago. I am not fond of small spaces like caves. So when the girls were there with the rest of the tour group, I stood by the entrance near a hollowed out spot where Native Americans used to bury their dead in the 1800s. Like that's less creepy. I know. Like you're hanging out at the funeral site while they're in a cave. Like you're not in a safe space.
Yeah.
They say if you see mist rising from the grave, you need to take a picture. Well, I thought I saw mist, so I shot several times. Suddenly, someone put their hands over my ears and all sound disappeared. I was frightened, but I couldn't move. I said out loud, whatever is here, I mean no harm. And after a few more minutes, whatever was holding me let go. I didn't mention this to anyone because I didn't want to scare my nieces, but on the way home, we got lost and ended up in Springfield, Tennessee. That's the opposite direction from where home is in Nashville.
Oh, she's blaming the witch for getting lost.
Yeah, that's what it is. Also, the photos from that day showed lights all over that grave, so the Bell Witch must be alive and well in Adams, Tennessee.
Okay, Denise, you have to send us those pictures, please. And for future reference, if you send us a story and you're like, I took these pictures, damn it,
show us the pictures.
Send us the pictures.
We need the proof.
She said that was 20 years ago. And it's like the more time passes, the harder it is to get this evidence.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have it, please send it immediately. Okay, we have to send some love out to Keely. Okay. Because Keely has sent us approximately 200 stories over the past, I'm going to say like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So she found the podcast and she's really digging it. So thank you, Keely. But yes, here is her story.
My little brother is over in Oklahoma at Fort Steele for the National Guard basic training. He came home for Christmas and started laughing, and he says, so I've got to tell you about my barracks and my sergeant, because he knows I love the haunted things. And so he's like, apparently my barracks are haunted. And I said, well, why do you say that? And he says, well, one of my sergeants has said he's seen things in there. He's heard sounds and stuff when nobody's there. The funny part about that is if he like hears a noise while we're in there, or if like he needs to come check on us, he'll kind of just like pop his head in real quick, kind of Scooby-Doo, you know, and then he'll walk through and he's like holding this cross and he's like scanning the room with it. I did hit him up yesterday, asked him if he could have his sergeant maybe record some stories for me, or maybe tell him so that he can get them to me. But I did do some research on Fort Sill in Oklahoma, and it's been around forever. It's, I guess, pretty haunted. It's got a lot of activity. My brother did call it Fort Suicide. So I don't know, maybe check that out. Anyway, love you ladies. Bye.
Bye. Thank you, Keely. And girl, she's not kidding. This Fort Sill is so haunted.
Is
so
it?
If you Google it as SILL, and we'll post some links at hauntedaf.com. But yeah, I mean, they do ghost tours there.
Wow. We should go.
Oh, we should go. Yeah, it's Oklahoma.
Yeah,
we
it's
could
not very
drive.
far.
But it is super haunted. But imagine you have to sleep in there, but your sergeant will only come in with a cross.
Yeah.
Like, we need to talk to that sergeant. I feel like they're probably not allowed to share those stories.
What if that's like government information and it can't come out for like 20 years from now or something?
Oh, it's in some sort of like sealed file.
Yes, just like, you know, all the aliens and UFOs and such.
Yeah, I love military ghost stories for some reason.
Why are they so much more like, I think it's because you have like an entity, a government body, like recognizing that this really happened.
Yeah. There's like immediate legitimacy to it for some reason.
Oh, I love it. Okay. So remember, guys, hit up our website, hauntedaf.com. We got the companion blogs there. And of course, all of our wonderful merch, which neither one of us have on today.
Oh my gosh.
I forgot. I couldn't find my Haunted AF shirt.
Wait,
I have.
So we do have new Haunted AF masks.
Oh, they're so cute.
So they're super cute.
Yeah.
And so I was really struggling to make one. And I was like, I don't know if this is right. So I ordered one for myself before I promoted it. Hang on.
Oh my gosh, it's tiny.
This is the Haunted AF mask. Look
so
at that.
Though.
No, well, it was supposed to be black and it's supposed to say Haunted AF.
Where's the rest of
but it's just white with the stupid AF on it. It's like the biggest mask fail ever.
Honestly, I don't hate it.
I don't hate it either.
You almost look like a creepy ass nurse that's going to come in and like start killing some people.
So it just says AF on it. But anyhow, if you go to hauntedaf.com and look in the store, we have legit
ones.
They're black ones that say Haunted AF and they're badass.
And if you want to become a Patreon, we would love that. We need your support all the time. So patreon.com/hauntedaf.
Yes, and please tell your friends and family about the podcast. Also, leave a nice review too. If you like Haunted AF, say something nice about it. If you not, keep that ugliness to yourself, or just scream at us in the car when you're alone. I'm sure you do that as well. That'll feel good. Most importantly, keep sending all those scary stories to us so we can share them with everybody. So your haunted pet stories, ghosts, Bigfoot, UFOs, weird shit.
All of it.
Send it to hauntedafpodcast@gmail.com so we can use it on season 7. Yay. Haunted AF.